name is Amanda Cooper with Cola Daily, and we are so excited to talk to you today, especially since it's Women's History Month. You know, your team just ended your regular season with a perfect record. You clinched the SEC title and now the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. With such a successful season, how do you keep your team from being overly confident going into this new tournament?
I actually follow the lead of our players. They are, they're driven individuals. They really only want to win. So in only wanting to win, they come in with a business-like mentality every single day, and they want to. They not just want to win the tournament, like the NCAA tournament, another national championship. But they want to win every day. They approach every day from wanting to win every single day. And from that, it just builds. It becomes part of who you are and the habits that you form to be able to say that. Like if you win every day, more times than not, if it's championship day, it's just another day that you're trying to accomplish and win. So and they stay current. They don't look too far ahead. They just want to win what's in front of them today.
So the old saying, one game at a time, one play at a time.
That's it.
A lot of people are just amazed at the level of success you've done here in South Carolina. Is there like a recipe for taking a team from the bottom literally all the way consistently to the top? I remember when I spoke with you last year, you said that it's just you are programmed to win. You are going to win. If you're very competitive and that's just your spirit. Is that the secret sauce? You figure out ways to make it happen?
That's part of it. Again, I think what I've done in my life is create good habits, and I only try to add things to my life that can help me, and that's probably the secret. I don't really add anything that doesn't add value to who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish. I've surrounded myself with great people who are cut from the same cloth of competing and doing things the right way. And once you have that, it's all about sharpening your skill set and being open to anything that will help us accomplish our goal. And I adopted that very early on in my life, and I think it probably has to do with me being my mother's child and always wanting to make her proud, and not feel her wrath. Sure.
I love it. Well, mamas do have a way of bringing the best out of you for sure. And my next question, I guess you've already answered it. It basically was, what do you think is different about your leadership style compared to other coaches? You're real big on habits. I remember the last year you mentioned you're only as good as your habits.
In sport, we are creatures of habit, and we know when we form habits that are beneficial to us and detrimental to us. And you got a choice every day to choose the right one, because they're all a part of our journey, like to work out or not to work out, to work out in the morning or wait till the afternoon or wait till the evening. Now, the later you decide to do that, the harder it is to do, because you prioritize, you put something in front of the very thing that you're trying to accomplish. And for me, just when I was an athlete, I had to get it done in the morning, or else I would not do it. And then I've chosen what was the priority for me. And if it wasn't working out at the beginning of the day, then you're creating bad habits. So no matter what I felt like, no matter what things I had planned, I prioritized and put the very thing that I wanted to accomplish first. And then from there, that's just the way it is. All of our practices are scripted to work on the things that we want to get better, what we want to get better at each and every day. and we incorporate that in each of our practices. So defense has been something that we've had to hang our hat on. So there will be several defensive drills in our practices. And then once we got really good at defense, and we wanted to get better at offense, we started making that a priority. And that's what life is about, is just being able to prioritize, compartmentalize without losing the thing that you have to put first at any given time. So it's creating habits and sticking with them.
You are what many consider a unicorn, because a lot of times, exceptional players don't necessarily make the best coaches. And you figured out a way to not have them play like you used to or do a lot of the things, but it's almost like you picked what worked for you as a player and combine that with the X and O's of being a coach. And to me, I don't know, maybe I'm overstepping, but to me, that's your secret sauce, because you understand the game, but you know everybody performs differently. And you seem to meet your players for where they're at. Having done so much in your life outside of basketball, what else is on Dawn Staley's bucket list?
I lead a very simplistic life. Like seriously, I enjoy my house. I enjoy being home. And I don't necessarily have a bucket list, but I know I have some things that I really like to do when I have some time. One is, like, I like to pull weeds. Yeah, I like flowers. I like bamboo. I like taking care of I don't have a green thumb, but I like to take care of things that are near and dear. Like I have some plants that um that I've kept. One, somebody gave me a plant when I first moved here, and I still have it 15 years later. So I'm proud of that. And then I got some plants that are from my mother's funeral and then my brother's funeral that I like to just keep up. And then I've planted several things like black bamboo and some Bassetti bamboo that took a hit when we had, when that big frost storm came, like that cold storm that came through. It really did some damage to my plants. So I got to nurse them back. So I'm chilling. I like to watch TV. I like to just I like to grill. Like I like to grill for my family. So I like really the simple things in life.
I'm thinking maybe once you decide to settle down and retire eventually later on, you might be the next grill master. I'm just kind of putting it out. So when we talk about your legacy, like I said, it's Women's History Month, and you are considered an influencer that uses her platform to speak up about social injustice. It was announced that the statues of equality in the city of Columbia are going to be erecting a statue in your likeness at the corner of Main and Gervais. I know you had some opposition about it until you found out what it was for and who it was being sponsored by. How do you feel being a catalyst for change by having a statue of your likeness erected right across the street from the same location where the Confederate flag was once placed?
Well, for me, it's probably more strategic for others than it is for me, and it just, I believe, symbolizes what can be, like really what can be. I'm not one that think I'm deserving of a statue. Somebody else thought of that, and I do think they wanted to symbolize change, and doing things in a way that is right for the time. And I'm 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 honored. I'm honored for what it stands for. I'm honored because not very many women and Black women get statues around this country, and for me to be one in this campaign means a great deal, and it represents hope, and it represents what you can be when given an opportunity. So I've taken advantage of every opportunity that I'm given, and I don't forget where I come from, and I don't forget that there are people out there who are voiceless, but 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 they have every right to have a voice when something impacts them. And I just want to be a change agent for those voiceless people who, you know, don't have a voice. They don't have a say in the things that impacts their life, and the things that impacts generations. Um, and I'm honored, truly am. You know, it oftentimes it leaves me speechless because of people think of me this way, and I just look at myself as just being my mother's child. Like I'm more like my mother than anything, or any time in my life, and it's liberating. It's a great homage. Like, you know, I know as a youngster, my mom used to say and do things that I really didn't think made sense. But as I sit here today in my 50s, they make a lot of sense. They make a lot of sense now. And I hope I'm just making her proud.
What would you say to your younger self right now?
I would say to my younger self, like, I wasn't really a talker, and I really see myself as a talker. Um, and I was pretty shy, you know, growing up. And I would just tell my younger self to, you know, find who you are, find your voice, um, impact young people, and be true to yourself. Like, be completely true to yourself. And I think, um, the quicker that I found myself, the better I felt about myself. Like, sometimes you just don't know, and experience is a great teacher. So, would I change anything? I wouldn't, because as a child, I did a lot of listening and observing, and I still do that. But it allows you to have perspective, and it allows you to, when you do decide to use your voice, that people will listen, because they know you've listened and you've observed, and now you have better perspective. So that's what I probably would tell my younger self.
That's wonderful. And my last question, I know this is a real light one, but we got to ask. You know, your baby champ. He has more followers than me on social media. How is he handling being a Nepo baby?
You know, Champ is he's he suffers from only child syndrome. Um, you know, so I did say, if we won another national championship, that I would get another dog. And we won another one last year, and I asked Champ if he wanted a sibling, and Champ emphatically said, no, 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 there's no room for another dog in our bed. So
So he's handling being a Nepo baby just fine.
yes, yes.
Well, I'm out of time. I just want to thank you so much. Real quick, you got a champ. You're in the tournament when you make it, because I'm believing in faith that we're going to the championship. What would that mean for Dawn Staley and the future of the USC women's basketball team?
I believe it will etch our name forever in the history books, because it's something that, I mean, we haven't done, because if we actually able to win it again, we would do it in the fashion of being undefeated. But what it would do for the special group of individuals that decided that the University of South Carolina was going to be the place where they hone and their careers. And I'm specifically talking about our 2019 #1 recruiting class that decided to join hands, and to bring about a period of our history, making so many people proud. And I'm glad that they will be able to hoist another national championship trophy in their names, in their honor, in their legacy, which I hope we're able to dethrone their contributions to our program. But it's going to be a really hard feat, and for them to stay connected in this day and age says a lot about who they are as character people, and very, very talented individuals.